We got a Woj bomb to break down on today's edition of the Bulls Report by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome in. Woj on his podcast earlier today said this about the Chicago Bulls asking price for Alex Caruso. Says they want an OG Anunoby-Type deal in return for Caruso at this year's upcoming NBA trade deadline. So we'll be breaking down that and more on today's show and going over some quotes from some more Bulls insiders as well on the back half of today's show. But first off, I got a bone to pick with the real ones here on the channel. I was looking at some of the analytics over the last 28 days, and 68.4% of you guys are not subscribed here to the channel. Let's change that. The NBA trade deadline is this Thursday. We are going to be going live here on the channel 2 hours before the trade deadline, so hit that subscribe button. Lock us in, and let's change that number. 68.4% of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel. Change that, lock us in, stay up to date with the latest around the Bulls. But Woj said the Bulls want an OG Anunoby type of haul in return for Caruso. Well, this is what OG was sent for. The Raptors did receive RJ Barrett, Immanuel Quickley, and a second-round pick. And listen, RJ Barrett, 23-year-old player who averages around 20 points per game. He's a very valuable asset in the NBA. Immanuel Quickley, one of the better two-way guards, almost was Sixth Man of the Year last season. Still young, up-and-coming prospect. So pretty much what the Raptors or the Knicks had to include two of their young pieces in exchange for OG Anunoby, and they were also getting back precious Malachi Flynn as well. And listen, it kind of gets me to this. I think OG has way more value than Caruso. Like, I love Caruso. I love what he brings to the basketball floor. But I just think he has way more value than him. So, like, I understand the Bulls wanting an OG Anunoby type of haul for Caruso. I just don't think they're going to get it, mainly for this reason. I mean, OG is legitimately 3 to 4 years younger than Caruso on the calendar. And listen, I would give up, if I was a contending team, I'd probably meet the Bulls' asking price of giving up maybe, 2 first-round picks for a guy like Caruso and one of them protected. But, I mean, if you incorporate age and the whole circumstances, like, I just don't know if the Bulls are necessary. I just think the Bulls is the typical situation of them just overvaluing, their own, which they have done a ton during the kind of tenure of Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley. But let's compare the two. The stats on the season, I mean, it's pretty night and day. I mean, who is the better player here? They're both top of their class in terms of wing defenders and point of attack defenders. But offensively, Caruso's been great this year. He's been shooting the three ball really, really well at 41.5%. Percent from downtown. But, OG, I mean, he's a legit 15-a-game guy in the NBA. He has that kind of straight-line drive ability where it's, attack and a closeout, balls in rotation. He could kind of make one dribble, get to the rim, and rise up and finish over a defender, where Caruso's more of that, connecting piece on offense, where he's making that extra pass, where he's, knocking down the, three-point shot in the flow of the offense, where I think OG has more, creator in his game. But I also will make this point. I do think contenders will get desperate for a guy like Caruso. Like, in terms of like a needle mover on the market right now, there may not be a guy that will move a needle as much as Caruso does for a potential contending team because of what he does defensively, because of, the positivity and just the overall, advantage he will bring on the offensive side of the floor. I think contenders will get desperate, and maybe they will meet that Bulls asking price, or maybe 2 first-round picks. I don't know about an OG Anunoby type of haul, but 5 teams that come to mind that could be calling for Alex Caruso. I think the Lakers, obviously, they're number one. We heard the report that LeBron is apparently putting pressure on the Lakers front office to go make a move. So I think they could be, looking at a guy like Caruso. Miami Heat, they're a good basketball team this year. But if they want to get better on the margins, Caruso's a great option for them. The Milwaukee Bucks, even though the record's pretty good, but there's just something funky going on over there. I think they could view Caruso as, that perfect piece next to Dame in the backcourt, kind of a yin and yang where you have the more offensive guard, then you also have the more defensive guard. Then also the Boston Celtics. I mean, the Celtics are clearly going all in on this core of Tatum and Brown to just get them another piece like Caruso. I don't know if they can match the Bulls' asking price, but they're definitely a team. And then the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'll give you guys my thoughts on the Thunder here in a second, but I want to get you guys involved on today's video. Where will Alex Caruso finish this season? Will it be with the Bulls? Will it be with the Lakers? Or will it be with another team? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Where will Caruso finish this season? Let me know your thoughts down below. my prediction for the NBA trade deadline is I think Caruso's heading to Oklahoma City. Listen, this just makes too much sense to me. I think, we all know Oklahoma City, they have all types of draft capital. They got all types of young talent. But I don't think they want to go trade for another star. They have their big three in SGA, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren, where I think they're looking for guys like Caruso who helps them get better on the margins, who helps them move a needle, and maybe they could throw Josh Giddey in a first or maybe even 2 firsts for a guy like Caruso. So my prediction, trade deadline rolls around, I got Caruso going to the Oklahoma City Thunder in a haul, maybe around Giddey, maybe it's around picks. We'll obviously have to wait and find out. But that's my prediction. I think the Thunder are going to land Caruso at this year's trade deadline. But coming up here in just a second, I got more quotes around Caruso from an Bulls insider, Casey Johnson, and also just some quotes from Kevin Durant and DeMar DeRozan as well. So stay tuned for that. But first, got to tell you guys about today's sponsor on today's edition of the Bulls Report, and that is Prize Picks. If you guys head to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use promo code CLNS, you're going to get a first deposit match all the way up to $100. This is the lineup I'm rolling with for the Super Bowl this weekend. I got more on half a passing yard for Patrick Mahomes. They got a deal going on right now, so make sure you guys do take advantage of that. Then I think Pacheco, he's going to find the end zone, so I'm going to go more on half a touchdown for him. And then McCaffrey, I think he's going to get done in the pass-catching side of the game, so I'm going to take more on 35.5 receiving yards for him. Fade my picks, ride my picks, but make sure you guys do it at Prize Picks. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that promo code CLNS for a first deposit match all the way up to $100. Get hooked up today. You guys won't regret it. Trust me. prizepicks.com/CLNS code CLNS. All right, let's kick it to Jake Fisher here because he was the one that originally reported actually the Bulls' asking price for Caruso. And actually Fisher's been kind of on top of the kind of latest trade rumors in the NBA. He predicted the Terry Rozier move, to the Miami Heat. But he said this: Caruso would mark a dream outcome for the Milwaukee Bucks, but Chicago has indicated the Bulls would need multiple first-round picks to even consider parting ways with Caruso, according to league sources, if Chicago even truly considers moving him at all. And listen, that's the thing that bothers me. There is no reason for the Bulls to keep Caruso at this point. I understand, he is probably the greatest success story for this front office, either him or Kobe White, but, just in terms of where the Bulls are right now, there's no reason to keep him on this roster. Are you going to keep him on the roster, to really make that push to the play-in tournament and maybe win a playoff game, as the 8th seed? I don't know. I just don't really think there's any reason for the Bulls, hang on to him on this roster. But I also love this quote from Kevin Durant, just kind of speaking to the value that a guy like Caruso brings, because I do think he's still one of the more underrated players in the league. This was after KD and Caruso matched up earlier this season. He said, he's a phenomenal player. I don't even want to call him a role player, but just a guy that you can plug in with any lineup, and he's going to make the right reads, the right plays on the defensive and offensive side of the floor. And I totally agree with what KD had to say, just kind of speaking to his game. But how about his own teammate, DeMar DeRozan, talking about what he brings to the Bulls defensively and if he could win the Defensive Player of the Year award? He said he's our Ray Lewis. He's the Deion Sanders. He's the Charles Woodson. He's definitely one of those great vocalists, communicators, and competitors when it comes to that end of the ball. He's the guy without a doubt that can win it for sure. And also this, he deserves to play in June. Kind of like what I was saying. Caruso doesn't deserve the kind of helping the Bulls with a play-in push. He deserves to be helping a championship or a contending team go win a championship. And that's the thing with Caruso. He doesn't want to be playing in April and May. He deserves to be playing in June, whether it's with, the Bucks, Celtics, whoever it may be, even like the Thunder if they end up calling for him. He deserves conference final stage, not the play-in tournament stage. So go get first-round picks, whatever you can, for Caruso and end up helping the Bulls in the long run. But this is Casey Johnson just kind of wrapping up his thoughts on the Bulls potentially trading Caruso. He says, all I can say, I've been reported that they've been hesitant to do so at this point. Now that obviously can change between now and the February 8th deadline. And there likely will be solid offers for Caruso, who is the perfect over-the-top piece for championship contending teams. He also said there's a scenario in which, in order to trade LaVine, Caruso may have to be included, but Caruso is arguably this regime's greatest success story, and he is the perfect embodiment of the culture the franchise wants to project. Trading him would be painful for this management team. I can assure you of that. And listen, guys, this front office is a joke. It's just really funny to hear them say that. I understand, yeah, he probably is your greatest success story, but if your greatest success story is signing a role player that ends up outperforming his contract, we got a problem there. So, listen, if you do have to include Caruso in a Zach LaVine trade, I get it. Like, I want to move off LaVine by any means, but, if maybe the Bulls, if they get like one first-round pick for a combination of LaVine and Caruso, I'd probably be pretty disappointed. But that's the latest on Caruso. Woj dropped that bomb that the Bulls want an OG Anunoby type of haul for him. I just don't think they're going to get it. But if you guys did make it to the end of today's video, I appreciate you guys watching today's show. And if you guys did, you're a real one, so type real one down below so I can know who all the real ones are that actually watch us, from start to finish, because I really do appreciate that. I'll show you guys some love down in the comment section. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We're going to be going live here on Thursday on the channel, 12 p.m. Central Time, so make sure you guys do tune in. Trade deadline, a couple days away. Subscribe, stay in the loop. As always, go Bulls.